Right. Live. Welcome to the LeRoy Slava Show. My name is LeRoy Slava. Welcome. Mr. Godfrey Mongwe. How are you, sir?
I'm good, Mr. Slav. How are you, man?
Good, man. Healthy and well.
Beautiful.
Cold.
Yeah.
You can see it's
yeah.
cold
My
in
name
the
is not My name is not reflecting, by the way, then, eh?
Let me know that I keep this on and then your name will show now.
Oh, okay.
That's
it, yeah.
No, I need to first put my name there and then and then the names, the show's name.
The rest, yeah.
Welcome to the LeRoy Slava Show, Godfrey. This is where we have conversations with entrepreneurs that inspire and experts to admire. And the purpose of the show is to educate, to inspire. We are on our third month and it's doing very well.
No, that's beautiful.
Welcome. I'm glad to have you here. You are inspirational entrepreneur and you're an expert on the engineering side. So you need to tell us a bit more how that space works, how people that are interested, that want to get in can get in.
Yeah. No, definitely, man. That's beautiful.
Yeah, but I haven't seen you for years, man. I think before we start, let's wait for a few people to log on.
Okay, you let me know. Okay.
Yeah, but I haven't seen you for a while.
Oh man, yeah. When I was last show, yes, like I can't even remember. Last year, sometimes I don't know.
Durban, with that last Avich Dead show.
Yeah. Oh, it's been a while, eh? It's really been a while. It's been a while.
Last year was lockdown. The year before that, I think it was 2019, beginning of the year.
19, yeah. 19. No. We had good times. We have learned a lot, eh? We had good times in those shows. Some testimonies, people getting retrenched.
It was nice. I actually, by that time we were doing it for a couple of years, the shows, and I was actually a bit tired of it. Then,
yeah, I remember.
But now that we've not been doing it, I actually miss the traveling, the going to.
Absolutely. Every time I see planes flying from Wartam, I said to my wife, hey, I miss flying, man. But somewhere I just book a ticket, fly Saturday morning to Durban, have a breakfast and fly back. Exactly. I miss flying, man. Yeah.
No,
that's beautiful.
But Godfrey, thanks for joining us, man. Now ladies and gentlemen, we've got Godfrey Mongwe here. He's a mechanical engineer. He's an entrepreneur. He's the managing director of Emeka Consulting, the founder and author of the Fast Track system, which you need to tell us about. He's trained over 100 candidates through this system. Now, maybe let's start. Tell us what, Godfrey, maybe, I don't know if you want to start with the Fast Track system or we're going to start maybe with your journey of becoming an engineer and going through to opening the Emeka Consulting company.
Yeah, I think it's best maybe just to give your audience a bit of a background. Okay.
Yeah, I can start with the background.
Yeah. I obviously born and grew in Soweto, and then I'm a linguist. I've learned all the language in Soweto. So if you stay in Soweto, you must learn all these languages. I did my home language is Tsonga, known as Shangani, but I can speak Chivenda, I can speak Sesotho, Sepedi, Setswana. All this language that you can find. Zulu. My wife is a Zulu, so I have to speak Zulu. So all these languages you need to learn. It's important. It's important to become a linguist. The only one language that I'm still need to learn is the sign language. So
of course, you speak Xhosa as well.
Yeah, I speak Xhosa. Xhosa is similar to Zulu. If you know Zulu, it will be easy to learn Xhosa.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I'm a linguist. So I did my diploma in mechanical engineering then it was called Tech. So you can tell how old I am.
Yeah.
It was called Tech. Did my diploma there, mechanical engineering, and then when I completed in 1999, end of the year, then I joined Group 5 as a site engineer. So we've been traveling with Group 5 to Ghana, Botswana, Mali. So I was all over the show. Then I was still single, which it was nice, But 2002, when I got married, I stopped working for Group 5 because it was too much. You know, you can't travel for 6 months, a year without seeing your wife, and we're
You were
still
gone
young.
for
So
6 months at a time, 6 months, 12
yeah,
months at a time.
yeah. So you will go 3 months.
What were you doing in Ghana or
Yeah, I'm
Mali?
doing construction projects, you know, building all these mines and all this beautiful stuff. And that's where I learned a lot of experience in that company. But obviously in my journey, I've worked for various companies, you know, probably I worked like 10 companies in 15 years. And I'll tell you the reason why, because what I'm doing now about EXA, that was the drive behind me working for different companies. Because according to EXA, because I wanted to register as a professional a mechanical technologist with EXA.
Yeah.
And for you to register, you know, when you work for a company, you need to be in a space or environment where you've got people that are EXA registered, okay, and the company is actually giving opportunities and helping young graduates like myself to get that experience. So when I work for different companies, I'll go to this company, you find that you know, there's nothing that they don't even encourage it. No one know about it. So I couldn't stay there and waste my time and stay in the company. So I think the minimum time I've worked for a company is 9 months. The maximum time that I've worked for a company is 5 years. Okay.
I thought you said yeah. But did you know back then, Godfrey, when you were working for Group 5 and Cecil and all these companies, that eventually you want to start your own consulting company? Was that your plan initially?
Yeah, I think so, LeRoy. I had that in mind, and I loved education. I love mentoring. I love coaching people. So what I'm doing now is not something that I started now. It's something that comes with me long way. From matric, when the teacher doesn't come to class, I will pick up a chalk and stand and teach physical science and mathematics. When I completed my matric, I started a Saturday school with my brother and some friends. So this issue of coaching, mentoring, education, it's something that comes with me. It's not something that I only found out now. It's something that I knew I love to do it, you know.
Yeah.
And we started Saturday school. We help students with maths, physics, and chemistry. And then it doesn't matter wherever I moved. When I left from Soweto to come and stay this side of town, at church we started Saturday school, you know. So I was that guy who always wants to help. I want to teach, I want to coach, I want to mentor, you know, because I believe in that. For me, that's the crux, that's the foundation that helps people that are successful. When you study them, you find that they've got mentors, you know. Some are one-on-one mentors, some is through their books. As you know, my favorite mentor is Dr. Miles Monroe. My library is 90% of his books, okay? And I've got other books that I read. So I'm a person who reads a lot. So I've got 5 books next to my bed. So I'm reading a book now. It's called the Business Model Navigator. It's a book that teaches you about all the business models that have been applied throughout the business arena. But I will come to that when we talk about entrepreneurship. So, and then later, once I finished my diploma, 8 years later, I did my BTech with UNISA. So it took me, the BTech is 1 year. It took me 6 years to complete it. But because I'm that person who wants to do it, I'm that person who wants to.
Yeah. It's a 1 year. It's a 1 year. It took me 6 years. Why did it take you 6 years?
Because I was married. I've got a family. I'm working. Okay. And the good thing, because I was paying it for myself, so it wasn't sponsored by someone. So it's got seven modules. So you took 2 modules, you pass 1, you fail 1. That's good. The next day you can do it again.
I remember the story. This is a funny story.
Yeah.
But you never gave up, eh?
Yeah, so I completed the BTech, and I remember when I completed, we just had our second born, you know. When I went for graduation, I went alone, took my graduation gown, go to UNISA, graduate, come back, you know. And that was it. And I've done some courses, as you can see on my bio. I did a diploma in business management, and I did a diploma in project management. But again, and then in 2007, one of the companies I worked for, and that's where actually I got assistance to register with EXA. So I'm registered in 2 levels actually, as a professional engineering technician and as a professional.
What is EXA?
It's an engineering council of South Africa. So this is the council that gives license to people who wants to become professionals in their field. So, so once you've got your engineering qualification, either a diploma, a BTech, BSc or Bachelor of Engineering, and the minimum of 3 years experience, and then you can begin to do your registration process with EXA, which is the Engineering Council of South Africa. So those are the basic things that you need to have. Okay, then you can do your report.
Does every engineer have to have that?
Well, look, it depends on people, but now it's compulsory. If you want to do consulting work and work where you do design work and sign drawings, you have to register with EXA. So you can register for all the 9 disciplines of engineering: mechanical, electrical, civil, metallurgy, all the disciplines of engineering. You can register to become an engineer. Even guys with N6, guys, they don't know that if you've got a technical diploma, the N6 diploma, and a minimum of about 6 years experience, you can actually register as a professional technician. I've got one of the guys that I've coached and assisted, and is registered with the N6, you know. So yeah, so I'm registered as a technician in technology. So I've been working for like 15 plus years. The last company I've worked for, it was 2016, and I got to a point where it wasn't nice. Okay, but sometimes people, they think just to sit in offices, you earn good money, you're driving nice cars, you're staying in a nice house. That's all what life has to give. And I realized that I'm getting old. I can't be sitting here and earning a salary, and I must start earning fees. You know, there's a difference between earning a salary and a difference between earning fees.
What's the difference?
So look, yeah, with fees you determine the price. Okay, depending on the value that I can. So if you come to me and say, I want you to help me with this one, you know, I'm gonna put a price on it, because I know there's value in what I'm doing. But with a salary, it's there. You know, they tell you, you've got this qualification, you've got this experience, this is how much we can pay you. Okay, and that's how it is, unfortunately, you know. But when you start doing your own things, you're not longer earning salaries. You begin to earn fees. And you can earn fees in different way. You can have a fixed. I mean, I've got a client where I'm earning a retainer fee since 2019. Every month they're paying a certain amount, you know. So it's a tap. So every month I open the tap, the money comes and I close the tap. So
and I guess, like you're saying, with the salary, it's fixed. Nothing wrong with the salary, right?
Definitely nothing wrong with the salary. Yeah.
The salary is here, and it goes up by 5-10% if it does go up nowadays.
If you are lucky, it doesn't go up now. Yeah. If you are lucky, it does go up by 5%. But yeah, with the situation now,
with fees, and you can earn up to, if you automize it like you have, you can earn up to whatever millions.
You remember that slides you used to put on and legacy when you did the coaching? Warren Buffett says, if you don't earn money while you're sleeping, then
you're gonna work until you die.
Until you drop down. Okay, until you drop down. So LeRoy, in 2016, really, I wasn't happy in the corporate world. It wasn't fulfilling, you know. And then I was in debt, like you say, you know, sometimes we don't want to talk about the good things, but I was in debt. So the amount of debt that I had, my house, the cars, and the loans that I had, it was approximately 1.5 million rand. So that's the house, the bond, the loans, and the cars, you know. And I realized that this is not a good life, man. I couldn't sleep. You're stressed out. You earn your salary end of the month. I used to get my salary on the 25th. On the end of the month, 30th, there's nothing. You know, and I had to make a decision. I thought, you know what, I'm not gonna die in this situation. This is not life, you know. So 2016 June, I called it a quit. You know, I thought, you know what, I'm gone. And really, and obviously the environment at work wasn't nice. You know, it was really poisonous. And I remember a week before that, so I saw a video by Steve Harvey. You know, people can Google it. It's called Jump. Okay, by Steve Harvey. Yeah, if you say Jump by Steve Harvey, you'll see the video.
Put it in the comments section.
Yeah, I even got a book about it. I'm looking at my library if I can see the book quickly. there's a book that I bought about Steve Harvey talking about that. You know, the book is called Jump. The video, you can say Jump by Steve Harvey. You will see it. So I was in here. I'm trying to. Oh, here's a book. I'm gonna share the book. Okay, this is the book. Okay,
Jump.
Yeah. Okay. So I saw the video where he talks about this, and then he says, in life you've got to jump. So when you're standing on the cliff of life, okay, you seeing people soaring in life. People have jumped, but he says something very critical. He says, I can guarantee you one thing. You've got a parachute. If you do jump, I will tell you one thing. Your parachute might not open. You'll have some scars, you know, you'll go through stuff. But he says, ultimately, your parachute has to open. And once open, you begin to soar. You feel the freedom, you know, of soaring in life. Then you begin to live.
Now tell me, Godfrey, quick question, all right? Because now I know this too. What you have in your mind of what you're gonna do, you see the success, you see how this thing is gonna work, you see how this thing is gonna talking about the jump, you see how you're gonna make money, and then you jump, and then you realize this parachute is not opening.
Nothing works.
But you know what? There's this thing where it's what's this guy's name? The church guy, the old man. What's his name? He's got many books.
The church guy.
I'll get to his name now. And he talks about testing your dream. And he says it's gonna be harder than what you think it's gonna be. It's gonna take longer than what you thought it was supposed to be. It's gonna be more painful. You're gonna lose more than what you thought you would have lost.
Yeah.
But in the end, it will all be worth it.
No, definitely,
What's his name? But anyway, carry on. I'll get his name now.
Yeah. So 2016, I decided to leave, and obviously, I mean, nowadays I sit with my wife. We try to look back what happened. And she wasn't happy when I left because the plan was there, but like you say, it's a plan on paper, you know. It's a plan on paper, but nothing's happened. So when I left, we then went through a rough time, really rough time. I lost my house. Luckily, my 2 cars were almost paid up. I think the Toyota that I'm driving now, the last amount, it was about 20,000 rand. So when I left the last company, they gave me about 350,000 because I worked for 3 years. Now you tell me for 3 years, so which means for every year I made like 350 divided by 3, so like 100 and something per year. I thought, this is not like. So I lost my house. My children were expelled from school, and I was blacklisted. And and life was rough. I couldn't sleep, you know.
What was the feeling back then? How do you, when you go through something like that, maybe for people, and when you go through something, what are you thinking, and how do you pick yourself up?
Look, LeRoy, you know, the one thing that kept me it's the people around you. You know, you keep people that helps you, people that encourages you. But like I say again, I'm a person who reads a lot. So I've read stories of people that are successful. You know, people have to, you know, here's the thing. Sometimes to be successful, you have to go through a rough patch, okay? So that you learn the lessons, you know, the lessons. And I think the one thing that really made me to struggle is because I wasn't good in working with money. I thought I knew, but I wasn't good, you know? So I had to learn how to manage money. First, I had to learn how to make money, how to manage money, and how to use money properly. In other words, how to respect money. You know, so because you know sometimes as we grow as young professionals, you know, you're earning a good money, you don't respect money, you just use it whenever. You don't think about other stuff.
Yeah.
So what kept me going, obviously as a Christian, you know, God has been graceful, and he gave me the chance to go back to learn the lessons that I've missed, because that's how I looked at it. I didn't look at it as something that makes me to suffer. So these are the things that I've missed to learn. So I needed to go back to this class, how to
before
manage
you go to
money.
the next level, you need to learn these lessons.
Exactly. Yeah, so I had to go back to those things and learn, and obviously look at other stuff that I didn't do it right. And the good thing is the support of my wife. Hence, I call it my black diamond. It's hard to find black diamond, believe me.
Yeah.
As people who are in the mining industry, to dig that black, you will find all other sorts of diamond, but the black diamond, you've got to dig deeper.
You know, go deep.
So with the support, you've got to go deeper, my friend. So with the support of my wife, I began then start reading books and trying to build something that will bring money. So
I think that's when we met more or less that time.
Yeah. So through Andrew introduced me to Legacy, during that time when it was really tough. And I must say, even though when Legacy didn't die well, but I think there's a lot of lessons I've learned from Legacy, from you guys. Like I say, being in good environment of people like yourself, Andrew, and other guys and ladies in our team. So that little income that I used to have, it really sustained us, while I was still, trying to fight my battles in terms of paying back the debts that I was owing. Obviously, when the house was taken, I owed the bank like 100,000 or 70, 80 something thousand, because the house was sold less than what it was supposed to be sold. So when that balance, the bank says, actually the bank, they didn't even give me a chance to say, you're owing us 80,000 rand now, since we sold your house, so that we can recover our money, but there's a shortage of 80,000. How are you going to pay that 80,000? I was not working where I will get 80,000. I tried to borrow money from people, but it's not sustainable. You borrow money from this guy to pay this, and then you're owing that guy. So it's not a good life. It wasn't really a good life. So I was then blacklisted. Obviously, when you're blacklisted, there's nothing you can do. So through Andrew, then I was introduced to Legacy. So we do the training, at least you can earn whatever, and that sustained us, while I was building. And then I had a friend who runs a construction and consulting company. I spoke to him. I said, look, this is my situation. If you've got anything just for 3 months, so that I can raise 100,000 to pay the bank, and then so that at least I can get my life back. And things, like you say, it took me a while, but one time I got a call, like in the afternoon. He says to me, I've got a client tomorrow. He wants to see you in the meetings, 9 o'clock in the morning. I didn't have money for petrol, so the guy had to assist with petrol also, So he gave me money for petrol in the morning. I wake up and I went to south of Johannesburg. That's where I met the other client. And this guy's company says, look, we're looking to do this. Can you help us to do this? I said, definitely. But you know what was that the black guy motivator, the American guy? We used to talk about him. Les Brown. Okay. Yeah, Les Brown says, if you've got an opportunity and they say, can you do this? And you can't do it, just say yes and learn how to do it. So I took chances. Then I went, and fortunately enough, because what they required, I knew how to do it. And they said, we need this thing. It was supposed to be a 2-week project. I did it in 1 week.
Oh, wow.
1 week. I came back home and I sat throughout the night, and then I worked on that project.
And that's something I admire of you, mostly the work ethic. I don't know anyone that can work and focus. Like you can focus on one thing for day in, right around the clock until it's perfected. I was amazed with Graham, and then looking at you work. You're like, wow, this man can focus and work. That's a gift. It's a what do you call it? It's a trait. You learn. It's a habit actually. You learn these things. I always say to my wife, they will say to me, food is ready. I said, yeah, food can wait until I finish this. I'm not eating. It's a habit, and I think it's one of the things that helped me to achieve these little things that I've achieved so far. So, and the project was worth 300,000. So I completed the project. We were paid 300,000. The guy gave me half. He kept the half because it was through him, and 150 cash on my hands.
I went straight to the bank. I said, how much do I owe you? And they gave me a settlement. Actually, I had to pay half. Remember, I was owing them 80. They said, no, pay us half.
But if you pay the full amounts, they give you a 20% or 25%.
Yeah. So they cut it and I paid them. And then I went to the lawyers because I was blacklisted. So I get a lawyer, a guy from Zimbabwe, it was very good. And then he helped me. We did all the stuff, paid everybody, clean my life. And then boom, debt free. So I was debt free since 2017, I think, or 2018. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's how my life has started. Yeah, no, definitely. That's how my life started. Okay. And then we were with Graham and Tony in Mpumalanga, and that's where actually the whole thing started to the breakthrough came in. Tony got sick. We took Tony to the hospital at night. We were waiting there. 12 o'clock. Graham is busy on this phone, so he showed me something. He says, "Do you know Udemy?" I was, what is that? He says, the platform where you can do online courses. Man, LeRoy, we went back to the hotel where we were sleeping. I couldn't sleep that night. I went to Udemy the whole night. I looked at Udemy, and then, man, I said, I need to do something. So I said, what is it that I can do? Remember, people, they will always say, sometimes it's not about something that is outside you. There's something within you. Okay. So I said, okay, I know that people struggle with EXA, how to put the reports together. And I've experienced this with myself because I also struggled, until I got someone who coached me and showed me how to do it. And then I used Udemy as a platform to test the market. So I built the course, and it's still selling. Actually, I was looking at Udemy the last time. That course is the best-selling course. I think I've got a photo. That course is the best-selling course at Udemy. I'll find the photo.
The one you put together.
Yeah. So I went to Udemy. It's the best-selling course. I'll find
for the viewers. Daniel, how's it, man? Daniel's on here. Rowan is on. Granwell, thanks guys for joining. Just quickly for Daniel, it's John Maxwell, not TD Jakes. Remember the quote we said earlier?
Oh, John Maxwell. Yes. Yeah. John Maxwell. Yeah.
Tell them what Udemy is.
So Udemy is an online platform. So you can use your skills. If you are good in plumbing, you can create a course in plumbing and put it on Udemy online. So if your course, someone buys your course, Udemy takes half, you keep half. And the good thing, they pay in dollars. So it doesn't matter. I mean, every day, every month, I get between 1,000 and 2,000 rand from Udemy.
So they've been paying you
in dollars.
2018.
Yeah, 2018. Yeah, when I started. So it's a thing, and it's now a best-selling course. So I tested the market through Udemy, and people have been buying this Udemy course, and obviously people say, "Hey, we need more. So in 2019, I started then the candidate fast track system. Okay, so this is the system that I've built to help graduates, engineering graduates, those that are ready to register with EXA. So I take them through the 9-step process, okay, to show them all the steps, what you need to do, what you need to have in order to register. And as a person who's registered, I then become their mentor, okay, and assist them to make sure that they put the report submitted to EXA and they get registered. So if people go to my LinkedIn, they can type Godfrey Mongwe on LinkedIn. They can connect with me. They can see all the people that have worked with me on my recommendation page, where people that have worked with me. I mean, even yesterday, I've got a client from Durban. He sent me the results. This morning, I've got a call. One of my clients, he got registered. He sent me the results. So this is what I'm doing now. And this is how I transit from being an engineer in terms of working for a corporate and using my skills of engineering and what I've learned, attending seminars in entrepreneurship. So this is how I transited from there to become a consultant of what I'm doing. Okay. So yeah, my focus is to help the graduates, and then also now I'm building a program to help the entrepreneurs. Because I believe if I go to the restaurant and I've eaten a good meal in that restaurant, you know, and sometimes says to me, hey, I'm looking for a good restaurant. It's easy for me to tell you, so go and try this restaurant. I think they're doing a good food. So it's always in terms of reference. So that's how I transited LeRoy from being a corporate engineer to become a consultant in what I'm doing, and ultimately then, you know, focusing on entrepreneurship.
Now that's an amazing story. And you know what's powerful about the story is not the whole journey, but a part of it. Remember, we were together for
a while, like 4 or 5
years. Once a month, we were away for a week.
Yeah, for a week.
Creating these things and working on it, which was inspiring and encouraging to see where it started and where it is now.
Absolutely, yeah. You know everything. yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, and again, I believe it's important for people to, you know, Habakkuk chapter 2:3 says, put a plan. You know, put a plan. I'm paraphrasing it. Put a plan so that people who sees the plan can run with it, can help you, can bring resources on it. And like you know me, I've got volume 2 of the plan, stuff that I've planned, stuff that I'm doing, stuff that I've achieved, stuff that I'm gonna do in the future, as long as the Lord has kept me. And I keep updating this thing every 3 months. I go back and I look what has been done, what have I achieved. So for me, if you've got something written down, it's a roadmap. It makes it easier for you to follow. You know, so I really encourage people to say, sit down and write a plan. That's why in companies, in a company, when you go and start a company, you have a business plan. You know, even God's got a plan about our lives. You know, Jeremiah 29:11 says God's got a plan. So sometimes it amazes me. People wants to achieve certain things, but you ask them, how are you going to achieve it? There's nothing written down. There's no roadmap. What you need to do, what resources do you want, and things like that.
Now it's a wish.
Okay. Absolutely. It's not a wish. Even building a house, you need a plan. You can't go to municipality and say, I want to build a house. I've got a site. The first question they say to you, what's a plan? Is it approved? Okay. So you know, planning is important.
That famous statement that says, if you don't have a plan, you're going to fall into someone else's plan.
Absolutely.
Noah, do you perhaps have your plans next to you, close to you right now? The ones you remember, you had that folder.
Yeah, I've got a folder.
Nice. Yeah. Godfrey has the most detailed plans I've ever seen in my life. You can just show them. I don't know if you want to. You don't have to, but if you want. If it is close to show.
Yeah, I think it's close, but the thing is, I'll have to look at it in these files here. But some of the stuff is on my laptop here. Yeah, but it's thick, man. It's thick. You know, it's covering everything about finance, about my family, about my business, about, you know, my career in terms of what I'm doing. So yeah, it's thick. It's a very comprehensive plan. I even have
that's the most comprehensive plan I've ever seen.
Yeah, I've got even the risks. I've written the risk that these are the possible risks that can derail me. So this risk, this is how I'm going to deal it. This is how I'm going to deal with it. You understand? Yeah. So it's a very comprehensive plan. It's not just one-page thing. You know, it's a plan, right? Really, it's a working document that I'm reviewing every 3 months to check what I'm doing, where am I going. But the other thing, LeRoy, the other thing that's important, I think I've left this. Find a mentor. People must find a mentor. I had a guy who was my mentor, Tate Billy Slicker. That guy, you know, he changed my life. You know, I went to his mentorship training courses, and then he was my coach. Even today, I can go to him and say, you know, how do I do this? How do I do this? What must I do here? So to find someone who you can look up to, who has achieved what you want to achieve, is very important.
Who's been where you want to go.
Absolutely. So he can share with me, you know, the strategies that he has applied, and you implement those things, and things happen.
And I think we used to emphasize that, right? Because in every area, in every part of your life, that you need to find someone who's been where you want to be, and they can guide you. And it's a quicker process. I was listening to Gaten McKenzie last night, and talking about these political things and all that, and he says these people want to tell you how to be rich, but they're not rich themselves. He says, "What witchcraft?" He says, "What witchcraft is that?"
And I always tell people that
teacher to be rich when he's not rich himself. He says, "What witchcraft is that?"
There's no blueprint. Exactly. There's no blueprint. Show us. I always tell people it's easy to listen to Vusi Tembekwayo because he's been there.
He's been there.
You understand? He's been there. He's not talking theory. He's talking. He's been there, and he's still doing it. So when you see his video on YouTube or on Facebook, you stop, you listen, because he's telling you not theory, he's telling you things that has happened. So other people, they come. I mean, it's like people in the industry say, "I'm a financial planner. I'll help you to get your finances good." You ask a question: are you using this product? Can you show me if this thing is working for you?
How much have you made? How much have you made from it? No, I'm just saying. I'm just not saying you. I'm saying when you speak to these guys, say, listen, okay, are you making money from it?
Yeah, exactly. So now, LeRoy, with this EXA, really it has been a life changer, and I really thank God that I've jumped the industry. I've left the industry to do what I'm doing. I mean, I was earning probably like take home about 35K. Now I can make over 100K in 1 month. You understand? Based on what I'm doing. Because and also as I was doing these trainings, I realized there's other things people will say to me, "Hey, we need this, we need this." Okay, I could add that, I could add that, I could add that as part of what I'm doing. You understand?
And
so
charge for it.
Of course, there's nothing for free, even though my business model, I've got 3 business models that I'm using. One is called freemium, where it's free and premium. So so the free part is when I give you something for free to entice you, okay? And then obviously when your appetite is up, and then you can say, you come and pay. So so the free part is like taking a gem, put it in the spoon, and you put a gem here, and the person does this. He says, "I want more. I want inside." I said, "Okay, the inside you need to pay."
This is the cost. Now, Godfrey, with engineers, why are we bringing in Cuban engineers? Is it Cuban engineers or where are these?
It's Cuban engineers.
Why are they bringing in foreign engineers? What are these engineers doing here, and why are we not using local engineers?
It's a political thing, LeRoy. To be honest, I mean, we've got capable engineers in this country. We've got guys that are sitting with degrees and experience, and they are not being considered. So, like I say, it's a political thing. So I think our government, they are not fair to people engineers of this country.
We owe them a favor. Now we bring in these people.
Exactly. Hence, I'm saying it's political. So and things that are political is difficult to navigate these things. But really, it's not a good thing. It's a sad thing in the history of our company for our government to bring engineers outside other countries, whereas we've got our own engineers here. We've got skills. We've got capable skills. Okay, we've got capable skills. So it's a political issue which is really difficult to influence. Not unless you're sitting up there. But I'm glad EXA and other institutions that are part of the engineering fraternity, they fighting it. They asking questions. This can not be happen. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
And I think Godfrey, I think engineers engineers are the guys that build the stuff, right?
Yeah.
Engineers, everything we use, everything, the technology,
absolutely.
Engineers are people that are moving the world forward.
Yeah.
I think one of I was listening to I can't remember what I was listening, and they said, guys, people for young people that want to study things and want to come up with things, they said engineering is one of the because technology is constantly moving forward, it's constantly changing, it's constantly
exactly. Exactly. I mean, sometimes I was puzzled why banks hire engineers. I couldn't understand. But banks hire engineers for innovation. Okay.
Yeah.
You go there, you know, in the financial space, you come with innovative ways of helping the banks to do things. But I mean, you look at FNB, man. That's one of the innovative banks. Yeah, FNB is one of the great innovative banks. I mean, stuff that they've done, it's out of the. I mean, there's on the app now. There's another thing that I can transfer money into your account without, it's not an e-wallet, it's called Geo something. You know, if I'm standing next to you, I can transfer money to you using Geo. It goes straight into your bank account. You know, and those are the beautiful things about technology. So yeah, so the journey of entrepreneurship started then in 2016, and then obviously the breakthrough became evident in 2019. So the other program that I'm doing now is called 0 to 1. Okay, and let me explain the concept of 0 to 1. So I'm a system person. So people sometimes they don't understand. I've done training to understand how do I think. I've done 2 trainings to understand how do I think. Okay, and what is it that I'm good at, you know. And both of these trainings, these trainings that I've done, have revealed to me that I'm a person who is I'm systemized. So if I come into an environment that is chaotic, I can actually remove everything and bring order in that environment. So this 0 to 1 is an entrepreneurship training program that I'm still building. Okay, so it also a system to show people how do you go without clients and getting clients. How do you go without making money and making money? How do you go without having good connections and having good connections?
When are you going to? When will this be finished, Godfrey? When will you?
I'm still working on it. The system is already finalized. It's just I'm building the training videos because I want to do it online. It will be an online course. Yeah, it will be an online course. I'm like 60% with it, so I'm just finalizing it, making it nicely. So it will be
this is something.
Yeah, these are important things. Believe me, LeRoy, these are the things I've also learned from other people. Sometimes it's not because I'm innovative, I'm clever. You learn something, you buy a book, you learn something nice, you begin to say, how can I take this and use it? Absolutely. So the title is called the 0 to 1 system. 0 client, 1 client, 0 income, you having an income. So we show you the system. We've got 9 steps in that program. To show you exactly from how do you move from 0 to 1. Okay, hence we call it the system like that. So it's a very powerful step.
Let us know when it's complete so that we can on the platform.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's an entrepreneurship, and it covers marketing. It covers how do you get client, how do you make money and things like that. And these are powerful tools that I've learned and I'm implementing in my business, and it's working. And hence I want to share it with other people to say, guys, if there's something that is working, I mean, you're doing property, you've been in property for many years. And when you talk about property, people should listen to you because you're not talking theory. You've got a building in Boksburg there and there's one coming. So people must come and invest and say, LeRoy has been in these things. LeRoy knows this thing. He's the guy to talk to because you can coach, you can train, you can, show people the ropes to say, guys, this is how you can make money in property. So yeah, it's very, very, very important. So yeah, once it's on, we'll let you know. We want to build it nicely and work it nicely.
I think we're coming almost close to 50 minutes now. Maybe last advice, my brother, for maybe give 2 types of advice. Maybe one for people that want to become engineers. Do they become engineers? Don't they? What type of engineering skills is the market looking for right now? And maybe for young people, because I saw on your bio, you help. I can give some young people advice on engineering, and then give us some last tips on entrepreneurship. Maybe a short couple of lines.
So on engineering, I think the skill that is going to be one of the best skills is artificial intelligence on engineering. Okay, and there's companies and institutes that are now giving training and education in artificial intelligence. For me, I will encourage young guys, go do engineering, spend time there. You always said to us in Legacy, learn before you earn. Okay, so they must go and learn. Between they say from 20 years to 30 years is a period of learning. Okay, and from 30 years to let's say 50 years is a period of earning. And from 60 years to whenever God can keep you, it's a period of giving away, you know. So they must go and learn and do engineering, but not also just to do it to become corporate employee. Learn the experience and begin something on the side. You know, the world has changed. You can see Corona has exposed a lot of things. What I'm doing now, I started this in 2012 while I was still working. I was building this thing. I remember one of the manager in the last company says to me, you need someone just to, you know, to push you out and live so that you can do what you're supposed to do. And I'm glad I've left the corporate. On the entrepreneur side, this is my passion. This is my heartbeat. Guys that wants to go on entrepreneurship, be a reader, read books. You know, if you are working in the corporate, you're planning to move from corporate to entrepreneurship, have a budget for books, read books. Books is its power, it's knowledge. Okay, buy books in relation to what you want to do. You know, I don't only buy books, LeRoy, based on my plan. I know exactly what types of books I'm looking for.
Yeah,
I don't go and just buy a book for the sake of buying a book. I want to achieve certain things. I know exactly what books I'm looking for. Exactly. So read a lot. Use YouTube for learning, not for watching things that are not helping you. Okay. So use YouTube for learning. Go to Udemy. Open an account. It's free. Buy courses in Udemy is between 100 Rand and 250. Buy courses in Udemy. Udemy's got millions and millions of courses about anything. Spend 100 Rand there. Buy a course about entrepreneurship and learn. Okay. Yeah. But the last thing, implement. Don't just take knowledge and you just become a library of knowledge and you can't use it. Implement it. Okay. Take chances, take risks, jump. But we'll tell you parachute won't open, but go jump. It's okay.
So what was it? It was read.
So those are the two advices.
It was read.
It was
books. Read books that are
read books.
Read books that are what's the right words to use here? Read books that are
aligned to your visions.
Aligned with your vision.
Exactly. You know,
the second
read
one
books
was
that are aligned to your vision.
The
second one was come again.
Watch videos on YouTube, things that are
watch videos, you know, related to what you want to achieve. You know, go to seminars, man. You know, some of the seminars is free. I know they sell stuff there, but just go there, mingle with people, connect, create friends. Miles Monroe talks about the five streams of wealth, and people they think it's money. One of them is connection, network. Okay, network and connecting with people. All right, and then implement when you learn.
Implement,
so implement what you're learning. You know, don't just learn something and then you don't use it. Implement what you're learning, and then begin to see the results. Okay, create your own dashboard so that you can see your movement. You know, I've got a dashboard. I see my movement. Dashboard in finance, dashboard in my life, dashboard about, you know, so everything that covers my life. I've got a tracking system so I can see where I'm going, what I'm doing, and things like that. You know. And then I can tell you, once you begin to go out there, you implement these things, life will reward you. You know, the heavens will just reward you. Believe me, man, I get calls almost every day. People say, we want help, we want help, we want help. Based on this system, the 0 to 1 system, it helps me to get, I don't have to phone people to say, I'm selling oranges. People come to me and say, we need help, you know, because I've and produce results. And the other thing is, don't just do something that doesn't produce results. Don't waste time on activities that doesn't produce results. Every day, LeRoy, I can only do one thing that day. Focus on that thing. So today, I'm going to make a call to LeRoy. Then until I'm able to have a connection with LeRoy, I'm not going to leave it. So focus. Okay, focus is important. Yeah, focus is important.
Focus. No, that's good stuff. Godfrey, thank you for joining. Ladies and gentlemen, conversations with entrepreneurs that inspire and exercise to admire. And Godfrey is a real inspiration and inspires us. And well done, Godfrey. Now tell us where we can get your fast track system, and tell us where we can get it. If someone wants
people can
want to get hold of you.
Yeah, people can connect with me on my LinkedIn. They can go to Godfrey Mongwe on LinkedIn, and then they can connect with me, or they can send me an email, info@imekaholdings.co.za. info@imekaholdings.co.za. People can connect with me on those two. I don't use Facebook for connection. Facebook is just for, you know, you go and look what's happening around the country. But LinkedIn, that's where you can find me. LeRoy, thank you so much.
Put that in a WhatsApp for me, right? Then I'm gonna put it in the comment section for people that are listening that wanna contact you and get
beautiful.
All
Your
handles, your email address, and everything.
Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. I'll do that. But thanks so much for this time, LeRoy. Keep doing the good job. Keep inspiring our own people, and let's build this country, and let's help our people. Corona is here to stay. Some people, they see problems. I see opportunities.
Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, Godfrey Mongwe, we're going to put his details in the comment section. Go like, follow him, contact him. If you want mentorship, if you want consulting, advice on engineering, whatever you need on that side, he'll be able to help you there. Go like, share this video, like it, subscribe to the YouTube channel. There's other videos on there as well. We're going to start with shorter videos every week from next month. Yeah, man. God bless you, and keep going. I know it's awkward times now, but guys, we need to keep going. We need to keep moving forward. Don't focus on the negative. Focus on the positive.
Yeah, positive. Yeah.
What's that Chinese proverb? What's that Chinese proverb? You said it now. Crisis of opportunity.
So Corona is here to stay. So when people looking for crisis, look for opportunities. Go beyond Corona and look for opportunities.
Yeah. Okay. God bless you guys. Thank you for joining. Like, subscribe. Join us next week. Wednesday. This week we're not on Wednesday. I had a funeral. My father's sister, we buried on Wednesday, so we didn't have it on Wednesday. That's why we're having it on Friday. God bless you. See you next week. Godfrey, stay on while I end the broadcast.
Okay, Baba. Sharp, LeRoy.